Welcome to your Magical Life podcast.
A sacred space to explore, create, and manifest more magic into your daily life.
I'm Crystal, homeschool mom to 2 wildlings and lover of all things witchy and magical.
And I'm Ash, your resident art witch and priestess, helping you trust your intuition through art and divination. Welcome back, Crystal. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic this evening. How are you doing, Ash?
I'm great. I'm excited we're recording this on the full moon, and I know, or not the full moon. Wow. We are recording this on the new moon.
Yes, but it is going to
And
release on the week of the full moon. So I think
true.
that's where we're getting a little bit backwards in our timing. We're like, oh, we're going to film the full moon episode, but we're like, no, we're just going to film a moon episode, flowing with the moon, manifesting with the moon. So excited.
Yes. And I am glad that this week you are the expert in this subject because I clearly don't know what day it is.
It's been a lot going on astrologically. I mean, yesterday was the spring equinox because we're filming this. We're trying to do this about 2 weeks ahead of time for you guys. So today is March 21st, and it is actually a new moon. So it's perfect that we're talking about the new moon. However, it is going to release in 2 more weeks, which, because it's a moon cycle, every 2 weeks we have this new beautiful chance to breathe in, breathe out, flow with the moon. And I am so excited that it's going to release on the week of the full moon. So people can choose to listen to the part about the full moon or the part about the new moon or all of it.
Perfect. Yes, that is definitely where my confusion came in. We are somewhere in time and space. Everyone's going to hear it differently anyways.
Absolutely. And this is great no matter when people are catching it, because guess what? No matter when they're going to catch it in 2 weeks, it's either going to be a new moon or a full moon again.
Exactly. So to get us started, what do you see the new moon as? Like, what do you do with the new moon?
So there's a lot of ways, and I, again, don't want to be prescriptive and say my way is the only way to do things or Ash's way is the only way to do things. We actually do things differently from each other, which is beautiful. But I see the new moon as a time of intention setting. I see it as a time of renewal and a time of manifesting. That's when I use the new moon energy to create something new. Then, as we flow into the full moon, I know you didn't ask me this, but to me, it's hard to talk about one without the other, the yin and the yang, you know?
That's true.
So, and the full moon is about releasing. So, as I said, you breathe in, you breathe out, the light and the dark. The full moon is that full illumination, and the new moon is that dark moon. Some people don't think of it the complete opposite. The new moon is a time to go within, and then I don't know what they do on the full moon. Dance naked.
Not in this house, but
No, I'm just kidding.
in this house, the new moon is goal setting, intention setting, and the full moon is celebration of what you've done in the last 2 weeks and uh, reevaluate like what you need to change to accomplish those intentions.
I really love that. I really love that. And that no matter how you look at it, it's all about flowing, and you can't mess it up because you have a new chance every month. So that's what I love. And if you can't celebrate every single new moon or every single full moon, that's okay as well, because again, you have another chance coming again soon. There are certain ones that I think you want to pay attention to, depending on your astrological sign. Because, for example, today's new moon is a new moon in Aries, and I am an Aries rising. And so it is particularly influencing me, I feel like, in conjunction with this spring equinox. I just am really feeling it, a lot of this get up and go energy, which Aries is known for. Aries is the god of war, and has that, Mars, energy as well. And so, I think it's important to know what sign that the moon is in so that you can kind of also utilize that energy. For example, Aries and starting new things and putting a fire is a great one, this month. However, we're catching this at an interesting time because the next new moon, which is in April in 1 month, um, is also in Aries. And usually you don't get two full moon or two moons, new moons or full moons in the same zodiac sign for a cycle, but the way that it's timed out, it is. So this is an extra auspicious time, I feel like.
Nice.
And there's eclipses coming up.
Oh, man. That's always, like, the kinda chaotic, crazy energy.
Do you practice on the eclipse moons personally?
Depends on how I'm feeling. Like, sometimes my quote, unquote, "practice" is laying on my yoga mat and doing nothing, or, attempting to sleep and having that energy of the universe keep me awake way too long.
True. I think there's ways you can honor the full moon without, like, using it for manifesting, for example, because, for example, new moons, like you were saying, goal setting, intention setting, it kind of goes hand in hand if you want to call it manifesting, which is um, literally, kind of scripting what you want, making things happen, with your magic and with the universe's energy, and putting it out of the universe what you want, acting like you already have it and just watching the blessings, pour in, like manifesting. And so
Yeah.
when you manifest on an eclipse, some people, I'm not going to again be prescriptive and say everybody, but some people I tend to be a little cautious around eclipse moon energy because it can be chaotic and unpredictable. You may wildly manifest your dreams, but it could come in a chaotic way. If you're like, oh, I'm wishing for more money. And you didn't specifically say I want to raise at this current job I'm at. Well, you might lose your job completely, get fired, and you're like, wait. I didn't ask for this. Now I have no money. I'm fired. But it's the chaotic eclipse energy's way of manifesting a better job for you, maybe more money in the end. So, yes, did you get what you manifested, but in a kind of crazy way? So, that's the kind of energy. Do you want to play with fire? That's your choice. I'm not here to tell you not to do anything on the eclipse moons, but I'm just saying this moon that we're having right now, these couple moons before eclipse season, are some solid moons to manifest on. Once you get into eclipse season, it's a little dicey until May, I wanna say. So,
Just wanna make sure that you are, uh, accurate with your intentions, or not accurate, it's not the word I'm looking for, clear with your intentions, because if you say you want a lot of money, like, you could end up with a lot of bills instead.
ooh,
Like, that's a lot of money
that's
issues.
true. Or,
So
I like to also say with harm to none, add that disclaimer
yes,
onto the end because you don't want, like, a loved one to pass away, but you to inherit a lot of money, be careful what you wish for.
that's a good point too. Yeah, be very specific with what you're looking for and how you wanna feel when you get it,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's the good of thing too. Um, this might be a good point to show one of my little things here for when I set my intentions. I write them on paper, I put them in my little magic box, and my dragon named Sunrise, I met her in a meditation. She protects my box and helps protect my intentions, my goals, my dreams, whatever other little things I keep in there.
I love
And so that kind of keeps manifesting as the month progresses.
I love
Mm,
that practice. And to go back a second to what you said about
mhm.
focusing on the feeling that you want rather than, I find the way that manifesting seems to be most successful for me, and this is just a personal, you know, practice or personal observation, I should say, is that when you don't micromanage the universe and really dictate, I want this and this is how it's going to happen. And, put all these, ways that the human brain puts the constructs on what you think you want, rather than be open and say, this is how I want to feel. Let the universe surprise me with how it's going to deliver that, because it will deliver 100 times better than what you could ever imagine was the way you thought you wanted something to happen. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah, that absolutely does. And I know I've been sprinkling little bits of human design knowledge on you here and there. And one part of our human design charts, which we can link some info in the notes. But one part of the chart says whether you need to be specific with your manifestations or if you need to just be general and be talking about how you want to feel. So I'm one of those people that needs to talk about how I want to feel when it comes and just be open to however that shows up, but focus on the feeling of how it'll be once it's come to fruition.
I love that. I love that. Like, in your sense of like, oh, I want money, because I feel like that's a common manifestation that people would like to bring in more,
Of
money.
course.
Exactly. You want energy, financial ease, that to flow abundantly. And I think that, focusing on how you want to feel, like less stress, and things like that, ease, flow, happiness, things like that, and contentment, focusing on those feelings, opens the pathways really for the abundance to come in, and also for you to just notice ways that maybe you're already abundant that you haven't focused on. And just that shift in mindset, I don't know, it unlocks something magical.
It does, for sure. For sure. And that's definitely what you want to focus on under the new moon of like using that magic for how you want to feel.
Right. I do think though, that there are things that, practices that I do, practices I'd like to share with our listeners to do on the new moons, um, to maybe open up that, line. So let's go for finances just for a moment. Let's, like, go down that road. So, I generally on a new moon, will gather kind of crystals that are, good for my intention. And so citrine is one that is good for bringing in abundance. So we talked about this in one of our first episodes, how I have a citrine bracelet. I often wear that on my left receiving hand, to bring in, money, make, for easy, abundance and things like that. We will often use things like herbs. So, cinnamon is another one that is great for bringing in abundance and luck, as well as cloves, allspice, things of that sort. There is a wonderful book. We will link it in the show notes as well, called The Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. It's Cunningham's. And I just love this. You can look up, oh, I have cinnamon. What is it good for? What are its other names and things like that? Or you can look in the back and I have a dollar bill marking my spot to the manifestations, for money, riches, wealth, and obtaining them. So that I commonly will add these to, sometimes I'll do a new moon simmer pot just in the kitchen. I'll throw these herbs in the pot. I'll often use moon water, which is I just put water in. This is an empty wine bottle, prophecy wine bottle that I drink, and then filled up with the water and put it under the full moon. So we're getting a little ahead into the next part of the episode, but moon water you make on the full moon. But you can use it at any time. And I often use it in a new moon simmer pot. And simmer pots, I feel like, bring intention in and just infuse your house with it. And then it smells delicious too. So I often will, do them to bring in luck and abundance. So you can add anything you have in here: bergamot, orange, blackberries, um, clover. I have a lot of clovers, lucky clovers, dill, and a lot of stuff like we talked about right from the grocery aisle that is in my kitchen already. Fern, and
I love doing orange in my abundance or like intention setting spells. Simmer pots, though, is something that I've wanted to do, but I've just never gotten to it. So I might have to try that soon.
Yes. I also wanted to
Yeah.
show you this little, apple. I don't know if you whoops, there goes a seed. Um, if but if you cut an apple lengthwise that way, I don't know if our, watchers
Yeah, we
viewers
can see it.
can see there is a pentacle in it, and it looks like a little coin. And so apples are a good for prosperity, abundance, as well as health. Of course, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So I think that those are great to add in. Sticks of cinnamon, whole cloves, and the house just smells gorgeous. Lavender, if you've got fresh lavender for peace, rose petals for love. There's just all sorts of flowers, if you have flowers in your garden or herbs in your garden or just anything in your kitchen. I think simmer pots are an excellent way to infuse your house with your intention. And so if it's love that you're wanting, you're putting in that rose petal, you're putting in, if you're looking for peace, that lavender, whatever it is that your intention, that feeling you want to bring forth. Um, sometimes you are manifesting a thing like I want an RV, a car, whatever it is, a house, but sometimes you're manifesting the feelings, the happiness, the contentment, and things like that as well. Um,
As you were talking, I was picturing putting like pine needles or like something from like one of the spruce trees. I don't know if that has anything to do with luck, abundance, and manifestation, but that's what I'm picturing in my mind. So
I love that.
I feel like that might speak to someone.
It will speak to someone, and also it's a great point that you don't need a book. You don't need to know what it is or why it is. Your intuition and what it means to you is the most powerful thing in the world, more than any book. I don't know who Cunningham is, but if Ash says that it means this to Ash and Ash puts that in her simmer pot, that's what it means. I don't care what Cunningham says.
Yeah.
I also have in this little jar, I always save my used spice jars and then I refill them with my own, little findings. And this is from pine from our Christmas tree. And to me, it represents
Nice.
joy, Christmas joy. That's to me. And again, like, that is a personal meaning. I didn't read that in any book on any site, but that in every spell I use, I wanna add a little of that Christmas joy, like, that feeling of Christmas morning, little sprig of that Christmas tree goes in there.
Yes. I save all the little jars too. And I had a reading for myself from a medium that I met years ago over the weekend. I didn't bring up anything in particular. I was just like, this is my self care. And she was like, all those little jars that you keep collecting? Maybe? Yes. She's like, you need to start your own apothecary. You need to start putting stuff in them and saving herbs and keeping all that. So
I
I have lots of those little jars.
Well, since you brought up jars, let me go ahead and bring out something else I do often on the new moons or sometimes full moons, sometimes just auspicious, like the solstices or equinoxes, things like that. And they're little spell jars. Okay. And you can get these so cheap on Amazon, little empty ones. So you can see here they're just little empty ones with a little cork and they're tiny, and, I fill them with different herbs. I have, protective sand and salt. This one, my daughter put sprinkles in because she wanted it to be fun, and I said, "Well, of course," you know, and also I got those on Amazon pretty cheap, 13 I don't remember, we'll link it below where you could get like 100 packs, so you could just have them for all occasions. I mean, I make them for friends and family, and I do them with my kids. It's just a really great way for them to visualize the intention that you're putting. Whatever the cinnamon is for, I'm bringing in luck, I'm bringing in peace, whatever it is. And I got these in this little funnel, right, to put all the little ingredients in. And this kit right here came from Amazon. It has tiny crystals in it of all different
Nice.
kinds, just the right size for these spell jars. And again, this wasn't too much, I think $20 or $30 for all of these crystals. And it even came with, a little healing crystal Bible. It tells you what each one is for. Or I also have another Cunningham book, Cunningham's crystal, gem, and metal magic book that will tell you the different gemstones that are associated with the different feelings. Like, again, citrine is for wealth, and rose quartz is for self love, and things like that. So you can see the common associations, add them to your spell jars. You can, put these on a necklace, you can put them in your room, in your car, anywhere.
I got ones from the craft store, Michael's, that already came with the chains for necklaces. So when we traveled to visit my mom last year, I made a little one for safe travels. So I have like witches, writing on the bottom of it to say safe travels. And then I have like crystals and little bits of sand and sparkly stuff inside of it for promoting safe driving, safe travels.
That's fantastic. I love that
Yeah,
idea, and I love the idea
and then
of
I
the
keep it with me.
apothecary. I totally think you should do that.
Oh, yes, and those 2 Cunningham books I need to purchase to add to my future apothecary.
Yeah, so we are definitely gonna link them in the show notes. I have a feeling the show notes might be a bit full tonight.
They might be. They might be. Um, so do you want to talk about divination on the new and full moon?
Yes, that is a great topic. I love it. We haven't even, yeah, scratched the surface there. Um, so there's definitely decks, moon related decks. Like I have this Moonology Oracle deck, which I love to use on the different moons. And in the guidebook, it has a spread for a new moon or full moon, and things like that. There's also lots that are online or, in different books. I even got this moon magic book at the Five Below store, and it has just different rituals, spellcraft, guided journal. There's all
Oh,
sorts of journals out there, too, that we, you know, can talk about in a moment. But the cards, the divination, I, I don't, I don't use spreads, to be honest, that much. I pull the cards. I just feel drawn to a deck. I pull some cards and say, "What do I need to know for this moon cycle, this new moon, or this full moon?" If I have a specific intention, like, I ask questions around that. Um, but some people love, live, and die by spreads.
I am both. Sometimes I just pull whatever I feel called to pull. Sometimes I pull spreads, and these I got they're not the exact ones that I got from the Biddy Tarot book, but they're very similar, but I just put them in my grimoire, painted them up and made them look pretty, because I do the same 6-card spread for the full moon and then a same 6-card spread for the new moon, and so
Can you tell us your
I've
question?
adapt Sure. I've adapted them a little bit over the years just because I've kinda changed my practices around them, but so, like, the new moon is what has been released, like, what has gotten out of the way since the full moon. Where are you right now? What new things are coming into your presence? What do I wish to grow? So that would be your goals, your intentions. And then how can I make these intentions or, bring these to fruition? And then what do I have at my disposal or like what are my resources?
That.
And so that's for the new moon.
I really love that. And so the book that you're holding, can you explain to our listeners? Because you've shown me and it's blown my mind, but I think that our listeners would love to hear about it, how you created it, what it is, what's it called? Start with that.
Sure. It's called a grimoire. It's a book of spells, a book of magical knowledge. That reading I had, she also told me I needed to color code my things that I've learned. So this is where I'll do that. Um, I just got this really cool notebook or journal from the bookstore. I had it in my office for a long time because I was afraid of making a mistake in it. And then I got over that and started somewhere. I've got my like little sticky tabs in it for different things like different dreams, cards, odds, herbs, essential oils, angels,
Wow.
gods and goddesses, crystals. Like I got a little of everything in here. Things that I've made, things that I've learned, um, things that I'm learning, and it just all comes together in one book of my own.
That is just amazing. Like, as a teacher, I think that is the coolest practice I've ever seen. Like, that's what everyone needs to do to, really integrate their learning, is to do that extra step, and then how it's
Yeah.
organized and how yours is different than mine. And we're not trying to repeat anyone else's book, and we're just taking what's important to us and putting it down so that we can reference it. I love it. And it's beautiful.
Exactly. And it's a place where like instead of going to a book I've purchased, like I'll go here first, see if I've got anything about it.
That's great.
And then go to my other books to continue
I
learning.
love that so much. Um, so I don't have books that cool for sure, but I do have a couple of journals I like that I'd like to shout out here. The first is the Auralign um, astrology planner. Now she makes, and it's Auralign, Auralign. She'll be in the comments for sure, the show notes. She has a YouTube channel as well. I watch all of her astrology videos, her new moon videos and full moon videos come with information, very just easy to understand information, and then journal prompts as well, and often a guided meditation as well. It's like a one-stop shop, and she's just like friendly and sweet. And she has this line of planners, which has seasonal guides. So this was like the spring seasonal equinox guide. It has how it's practiced in different areas, the Egyptian, traditional Chinese medicine, Celtic, has writing prompts. It has seasonal foods, seasonal herbs and spices. I mean, it's really chocked full of a lot of stuff for each of the seasons. And then it has for the planner part of it, it really has a lot of information for you to write your daily intentions, your top priorities, weekly intentions. So it's just like a regular planner as well, except it also has all the full moons, all the new moons, all the equinoxes there as well. And every month it has a place to write your new moon intention. So you can keep track of it and then go back and look through it again. So it says, this page is dedicated to what you are manifesting, what the feelings and intentions that those goals evoke. And it has your goal, your monthly action, weekly routine, daily habits. It tells you how to get those manifestations too. So I just love this journal so much. And it's fantastic. I can't, say enough great things about it. Other
That sounds
yeah,
amazing.
other than I am terrible at keeping up with journals, so I did it really religiously for like a month or 2 and then fell off on it. However, for those of you who are diligent, it is amazing, and then you have a record of everything. That's what I love is I could look back and say, "What did I do? What was my intention? Did it come to fruition?" Because sometimes your intentions take more than one moon cycle to happen, or it could be a full year, it could be 6 months. Often you'll see a 6 month trend when it's a new moon in Aries. You want to look at 6 months later to the full moon in Aries, and that's when a whole manifestation cycle might take place. So something to pay attention to. This journal I
Cool.
just got. So okay, Auralign I loved because it had every date and I knew, okay, this is Tuesday of this year is gonna be the new moon in Aries. However, when I got off track, well, now it's not 2022 anymore, and now it's beautiful and I can look at it, but I can't really use it anymore.
Yeah.
So enter Ritual, Writual, which has been popping up on my Facebook all over the place. And I just got this in the mail. I haven't even broken it open yet. Really dive into it. But the cool thing about it is undated. So if I
Oh,
start
nice.
and I stop, I can just continue where I was and it's not like lost. So I thought that that was super cool. And it has different pages like this is, a self-love check-in and things like this. But this one is mostly a tarot journal. So you write the date, you pull 3 cards for that day, and you kind of journal about it. I am going to pair it up with some very, very cool tarot stickers I just bought. Are these not the coolest thing? So these are from Matt
Oh,
Notes,
very.
Magic with a K, because they got it right. Magic Notes. We're going to drop all of these links in the comments. I told you that the show notes are going to be heavy today this week. With all the cool stuff for the moons. But I think you guys are gonna love it. Let us know if you love this, by the way. So there's all the different major, minor arcana. And so you could just, if you're an artist and you have the time, you can absolutely draw the cards or just write their names. But how fun it is to just also slap the sticker on. I'm excited.
I got that one last year, I think, but I got a dated one and I used it for like a week, maybe. The planner that I do like because it is digital. I actually use this because I have it with me everywhere. And this is the Moonsite planner.
Ooh,
Um, and she does it by, of course, the new moon cycle. So like every new moon, you start a new section of your planner. Um, but everything is like color coded. It probably won't
ooh,
show.
Helen.
Oh, it does show well. It's all color coded of like where different moon cycles are. And because it's digital, I can write in it, I can erase it, I can carry it with me and actually keep up with it a little bit better.
That's great. I love that a lot. I love that a lot. And just because I happen to open up to this page of the ritual planner, has new moon spreads and full moon spreads with different questions, journal questions and spaces as well. So I'm looking around here and I really think I was able to do a show and tell of almost everything I love and use for my moon except this little moon goddess. I bring her out on the full moon and the new moon. Um,
Cool.
I think I'm gonna link her in the comments because I forget her exact shop name, and I don't want to. I think her name is Ash as well, but I don't want to mispronounce it on here and tell everybody. But I think people are gonna love this moon goddess. She is custom made. She has a labradorite sphere that is removable, so I can charge this under the moon as well. And she has a dragon, and I just love her so much. I love her so much.
Very cool.
Uh,
Nice. Um, the thing that I use on the full moon the most is my cauldron here.
Ooh.
So cast iron cauldron, and on
Love
the full moons, I get to like whatever I need to release in order to like reset and realign. Whatever I need to release, I write it on paper, toss it in my cauldron, and burn it.
I love
And that is it.
I love
I
that.
sometimes I'll things I want to manifest too. So call me crazy. I do
No,
fire rituals for both.
you're not crazy. I am glad you brought it up because I do fire rituals for both as well. We have the bay leaves. Bay leaves are amazing. I'm actually making beef stew right now, and all the recipes call for bay leaf, and I do not like bay leaf in my beef stew, but I do love it for manifesting. That's where all the bay leaves in our house go. Um, and I do
That
it
is
to
hilarious.
release. I release into the fire pits, you know, you let it go into the universe, but you also release your intentions. And I think it's to me, you know, why it works is just to ashes and dust to dust. The phoenix rebirth, fire energy, fire cleanses and it kills. Like, you know, it's just all
Yeah,
consuming.
that's very
I
true. I like linking it to the phoenix.
I forgot that I have this beautiful new milk candle. I will also link in the comments. But it's gorgeous. I found all these people on TikTok. I love supporting small businesses. What can I say? You can buy these things and you know off Amazon or crystal stores. And sure, I got my spell jars on Amazon, but most of my crystals I go to local. All these things I shop small if I can. Why not support somebody who's really trying to make a
Absolutely.
living on this? As a small business owner, you know. Um, but listen to
Yeah.
this. I love this new moon candle. I have been using it for many new moons now. And it's has a beautiful saying on here. So as you're you know, I write my intention on this bay leaf and I will say um what it says on this candle, and it says, "On this dark night, void of light, I plant a seed of what will be. Intention set, it comes to me. As I will it, so mote it be." And then you burn your, your
I love it.
wish or your intention. Um, and then the last new moon activity I wanted to talk about here is my crystal grid. I
Mm,
have oh boy, there's 4
yeah, I'm
clover.
curious about that.
My four-leaf clover is stuck to it, or one of them. I have a four-leaf
One
clover
of many.
patch in my backyard that has just started blooming in the past, I don't know. It's a crazy story. I will get to it someday, I promise. It's not today, though. It's not today. So this is my crystal grid, and actually somebody on TikTok who I bought something else from sent this to me as a freebie. Her husband burns them, and on the other side is for a pendulum yes, no, maybe, no
Ooh,
grid, which is awesome. But I love this one here. And so, you know, there's different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but you can also put them on these points as well, the center points in between. This is sacred geometry, of course, as well. I am
mhm.
sure that there are ways that you can research and really, um, narrow down, like like pinpoint how one does something for a specific intention, but mine is completely intuitive. I feel drawn to put these crystals here and connect them this way for this intention. And so I just, again, go to my book,
Yeah.
go to my knowledge and feel my way out and just put, and it just focuses my intention. It just focuses my intention and uses them there. So,
And that design is Metatron's cube, which is perfect for light workers and people working with spiritual
that
beings.
is amazing. I loved doing this episode with you, Ash. So I think we're gonna have to break this into 2 episodes though, and do another on the
Okay.
full moon, okay? I mean, we have so much
Yeah.
more to talk about the full moon that,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think we should wrap it up for today. We have so much in the show notes about just manifesting with the moon,
We do.
and different things that people can do for the new moon. I can't wait to get together again with you to talk about the full moon.
Always. Yeah, the full moon's gonna be amazing too. So, and we talked about a lot in this episode. I'm amazed we got it in under an
Oh,
hour,
me
to be
too.
perfectly honest.
Hopefully, I didn't talk too fast. That's been one
You're
from my
good.
guide. Slow it down. I'm working on it.
Always a work in progress, and we're gonna get better with every single episode. So,
Yes. Thank you for having
thank you to all of our viewers and listeners.
Yes. We
for tuning in.
I guess that is spirit telling us it is time to get off, ladies. Have a nice night, everyone, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Your Magical Life. We hope you enjoyed it. Drop a comment and let us know what you liked and what you'd like to see more of.
We love hearing from our listeners and featuring your most requested topics in our Q&A section. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and don't forget to check the show notes for bonus content.
Send us your stories, questions, and comments to magicallifepod@gmail.com.
And we'll see you next time as we continue to explore, create, and manifest more magic into our daily lives.
Until then, I'm Crystal.
And I'm Ash. Take care and keep making magic.